I'm your host, Biggie Smoke, and we are back for the red flag restart of this race. Now, a couple people didn't join. That's kind of on them for not joining. But for the people that did join, we are ready for this one and ready to finish the second half of this race. So we're basically restarting after the safety car restart since the safety car broke. And so now we just wait for this red flag restart. As we restart a good half of this race after the mess up that had happened. This one. So we'll be having the racing action come soon. So, just give us a few seconds. Just waiting for everybody to get their setups, get everything chosen, get everything nice and set up and ready to go. And we'll have this race, the second half of this race underway, starting from the safety car restart after a big problem that had happened with said safety car. So most DNFs prior to safety car, I think, have been considered in this one, and so that is something to consider. And yeah, I think it's just going to be a fun little second half of the race. Hopefully we'll see some good action. It's unfortunate that we couldn't go flag to flag, but that's just the issues of F123 these days. And 5 red lights. And away we go. So, drive-through penalty for Marino, who gets a jump start now. Sir Angel now in P1. Still holding that off. Got Alfio Free-Jones behind. Starting on the softs now. It's a half-length race, so you might as well take the advantage that you can on tires due to the red flag. So Michello and P3 got some work to do. And now a car into the pits. Marino will be into the pits to probably serve that drive-through. Michello getting around Alfie. As Tio going to retire from the session. now it's going to go side by side. Alfio for Jones. Peak Racing down the inside in that into T1. So now Peak Racing currently running P3. On board with the Aston Martin driver of Vickwick. He's currently behind the Alpine of Ritzy. And might be looking for an opportunity to make an overtake at some point. And now, of course, you also have to consider, too, Ritzy does have two McLarens in front of him. The 9 is not super close, but when he has DRS open, he's got, I think, more than enough slipstream to help him defend. And also, in general, he's got DRS in the first place. As Mugello now passed by Peak Racing, and now this restart might have worked out perfectly for the Alfa Romeos, as now it's a 1-2 for both Peak Racing and Sir Angel. Both incorporating an aggressive strategy, too, starting on the softs. Of course, starting on the softs here does have its disadvantages because you're going to have to pit earlier. And what you're hoping on is that a lot of these guys that may have started on the mediums are not going to be all bunched up together and you get caught up in that mess. Because if you do, then you're going to lose a lot of time and you're going to bleed that time away for the cars behind to either jump you in the pits or stay with you and make your life a lot harder. But only time will tell where this race goes, as Mugello is saying. Nice and close. Sashing now going to pass Alfie. And Sashing up into P4 now. The McLaren's trying to push their way back up the field. And they need to. Now, Sashing was the second place driver last season. He had a pretty good season, all things considered, but besides, was not able to keep up with the Mugello dominance. But this is a chance where these drivers can very well keep up. It seems the pace has overall improved this year as well. And it's just showing in just the drives and stuff. We're seeing a lot more competitive racing. We're just seeing back and forth battles more. For Mugello, it's both a blessing and a curse. Makes the racing less boring, but makes it a lot harder for him to do his thing. But now Mugello on the back end of Peak Racing might try down the inside there. Gonna stay safe though. He's not gonna risk anything too stupid. Besides, if he can pressure Peak Racing into a mistake, why not take the easy route and just get Peak Racing to make a big mistake and make a big mess up. But Mugello actually, I think, may have messed up a little bit there and almost let Sashing through, but fortunately he's gonna be able to hold on to that position. Sashing there almost takes the position. Mugello, though, going to be able to go just a little bit quicker on the exit. And that's being opportunistic right there. Sashing is not holding back right now. He's going to be opportunistic. He's not being stupid either. He's not going to send his car into a place it shouldn't be. But he's definitely not going to find himself holding back if he sees a nice opportunity or a little opening. You can't really afford to make these mistakes. As now Mugello going to try maybe again. Still going for Peak Racing. He wants to get around, but that little battle with Sashing did drop back his progress just a little bit. Maybe by about a lap or two. as he's just taking little pokes at Peak Racing right now. Just trying to poke the bear is the best way to say it. Except he's trying to make the bear break. He's trying to make a mistake. And Peak Racing right now is not falling for any of it. But what Peak Racing is doing is picking up the pace. And while doing that is a good thing in a way, it also does put Sir Angel into a vulnerable position because his teammate ahead, if anything is to happen, Sir Angel is going to get the brunt of whatever Peak Racing is bringing behind him. For Sir Angel, this is an interesting situation because he really cannot afford to have these cars getting closer. And of course, these medium drivers at some point need to go. As Michelle going to get through Peak Racing now, and now he is in Sir Angel's DRS zone. And Michelle's done a good job of pressuring now. And now he's going to chase down the Alfa Romeo of Sir Angel. Who now has quite the objective behind him because he has to hold off the rapidly charging Michello. Softs have to be starting to wear down already. So that's definitely creating a bit of an issue there for some of the faster cars, aka the ones on mediums. But for the most part, Sir Angel really struggling actually to hold off Michello right now. And so for Michello, he is going to go into the pits though, interestingly enough. Is he trying to offset tires, maybe go on to mediums? Sorry, softs, and then try and offset from there. Because if he goes on the softs, then these guys are going to have to go on the mediums. By doing that, he actually puts himself into a really interesting place, and actually a place where he's going to have a big tire advantage come the final laps of this race. If anything, that's going to put a bit of fret onto the soft tire runners there. Unfortunately, though, for Michello, well, fortunately, actually, he does get around the AlphaTauri, so fortunately, he actually is going to be able to get through pretty well. But that could have been bad if he did get stuck. But of course, he does have Vickwick to consider. And if Vickwick does catch up and starts creating a battle for Michello, then Michello is going to be in an interesting spot, and that pit and slat and tire offset may not be worth its weight in gold. As Sir Angel into the pits now, he's going to be the first one changing. So now Peak Racing going to have to do that change probably around this lap. He will be doing the change himself. So Michello up into P5. Sir Angel, though, on the inside. He is going to get the jump on Sir Angel. And so it worked out perfectly for Michello. He gets the jump on Sir Angel. Zach going to retire from the session. There's going to be an incident. Or maybe not an incident, but down the pit straight goes Zach as he is out of the session now. And now Michello setting some very quick lap times. Blistering pace through that first sector. And now it's definitely creating a bit of a problem for Sir Angel in this one. And now Peak Racing into the pits. MKKJR going to stay out and be promoted to the race leader. And as for Michello, he gets by the Alfa Romeos nice and easily. Gandon still holding on to P2. Sir Angel under attack, though. Gotta watch out. Vickwick might be looking for a move on him. But in terms of this red flag restart, it's looking very much like Mugello might be the biggest gainer from it, as he might have just gotten himself in terms of the pit offsets into P1. As for Sir Angel, this is not a situation to rejoice. Another big problem right now is what Sir Angel is looking like in terms of tactical advantages. He really doesn't have any in terms of overtake. He's lacking any overtake. DRS deploy, he's a little too hard on it, I think, trying to keep up with Mugello. But he will have DRS advantage if he can catch Mugello before Mugello catches Gandin. Because the moment Mugello catches his Red Bull teammate, then this race is going to become a bit of a problem. And Gandin could be taking a bit of a brunt here. But Gandin, I think, is Mugello's damage control to ensure Mugello does not lose any time in this one. As now it does seem that Sir Angel is picking up the pace and looking for an opportunity, as Mugello, I think, makes a little mistake there. And now, Sir Angel really looking for the overtake. He's getting very aggressive right now. Doing a bit of ERS harvesting, and I think Mugello might be ERS harvesting as well. So this is creating a bit of a problem. But now Mugello in perfect range of Gandin. Now, my assumption is Gandin might just give Mugello the DRS for this run, but he might be going into the pit soon because he has to change tires at some point in this event. So Mugello is going to get that DRS advantage from Gandin. And now, the chance that Sir Angel gets blocked by Gandin, though, is very high. As he tries around the outside, he gets pushed off! He gets pushed off! Sir Angel around! And I think Gandin may have been too aggressive there, as Sir Angel's been pushed off. And so for Mugello, this is perfect for him, because now that means he has an easy way to the win. I don't know if Gandin forgot that Sir Angel was there or what, but regardless, Sir Angel was put onto the grass and spun around. And now, the McLaren of Sashin gets around the outside, albeit has some problem negotiating Gandin. Now down the inside, bit of contact between Gandin and Vickwick now. And now Gandin getting a little bit shaky there, hits Alfio Free Jones and Peak Racing too. And now there's going to be some contact. Gandin almost slides himself out. And there's probably going to be some unhappy drivers with him right now, as there's some more contact between them. Gandin just trying to get the DRS advantage, which he does get. And now contact into the back of him with Peak Racing. Sir Angel retires from the session. Peak Racing's hit the wall. He's broken his front wing. Safety car out. And now Alfa Romeo is in a lot of trouble in this one. And this is a bad situation now for Alfa Romeo. As the safety car is out, we'll probably have about 2 laps of racing left in this one. And so that was just a messy racing sequence all in all. That was not good. A very messy racing sequence. So both Alfa Romeos retired from the event. 10 cars left on the track now in this one. So back at the factory at Alfa Romeo, a lot of frowns, and probably will be a lot of anger, a lot of complaints, I feel, will be coming the way in general. But so into the pits, basically everyone will go in, because you might as well get another pair of softs. You will have another one. So take the advantage, get the softs. It'll be a soft tire shootout now. As McLaren double stack couple cars do stay out, though, however. And now, BRL Ritzy leading the safety car. There probably will be another lap, so these drivers, though, already on soft tires, so they really have no reason to change unless they really, really want to. I mean, Michello did change, but that's because he could afford the change. These guys probably really can't. So for Ritzy and MKKJR, they could be in a really good spot right now by not changing their tires if they can hold off Michello for 3 or so laps. This may be a race for Alpine or Aston Martin in possibility. As we now go on to lap 16 under the safety car, we'll have one more lap behind this thing. And so the race will be restarted on lap 17. That's 2 laps to hold off some of the slow cars. Sorry, 2 laps to hold off not the slow cars, but the cars behind if they want to win. Everyone on softs. The top 2 cars are on more used softs, so they do not go into the pits under the safety car. So we'll be at a slight pace disadvantage in this restart. But Zandvoort, despite obviously the amount of straights, the straights are not long on this track. And so there are chances for these guys on the slightly more worn tires to still be able to hold off. I mean, the turns will be a bit of a problem too. But if they're confident enough, and especially considering a lot of these turns tend to be faster corners, so hopefully for them, in their case, hopefully their tires will be able to hold on and they won't get too many moments where they slip out or lose traction. Now, Michello is employing a good strategy. What he's doing is he's trying to stay far behind, leave a bit of a gap between the cars in front so that he can get on the pedal a little bit earlier than when they would initially go. The hope for that is that he'll have a little bit more of a speed offset and be able to take them quickly into the next corner. And there goes BRL Ritzy, going to get a good start. MKKJR, what did I say, going to get caught sleeping, and Michello, the strategy might have worked for him as he's looking to get around. He's going to get held up, though, can't get around. Might be some contact real soon. These two going side by side, Michello holding the inside line. And now, MKKJR just trying to do whatever he can. These two side by side. He's got the inside line. Michello trying to hold it around the outside. Might get a better exit. Side by side racing. Michello a little bit faster though. He's going to be able to maintain the pace. And now he's got some work to do. He has to catch up with BRL Ritzy. There will be no DRS because there's not enough laps. So it's just going to be about pure pace. And Michello, of course, is on the fresher tires, which is going to play into a big disadvantage. It's going to play into a big disadvantage for Ritzy. And for Michello, the opportunity to pass may already be here. Gonna be some contact though between that and the Alpine. Ritzy though doing everything he can to try and hold off. He's gonna need to hold the inside line. The one advantage is there's no DRS, but the other disadvantage is Michello has a way faster car and some slipstream and better tires side by side. There's gonna be a big spin! Michello around! BRL Ritzy around, Vikwick up into P1 now, and Vikwick's gonna get another win just by being there when it mattered most. And Klepa bringing Kleppa bringing the fastest lap too. What has just happened? Both the Alpha, both the Alpine and the Red Bull get into a big incident with each other. And now Vikwick coming home. Just a few corners left, finishing off that second sector. And for Vikwick, this has been another amazing win for him. And it's really just because he has the pace that he can stay next to the leaders when it really matters. And when he did, he saw that incident happen, and I guarantee you a big smile grew on his face at that moment, because now Vikwick coming around the final corners to bring home Alfie Free Jones passing MKKJR. We almost had an Aston Martin 1-2, but it's going to still be an Aston Martin 1-free. Nothing to complain about there. Vikwick coming around the final corner, and Vikwick wins the Dutch Grand Prix, and in quite a dramatic fashion too. And so Aston Martin brings home a 1-free with MKKJR bringing home third place and Alfie second as we wait for just the last few drivers to get to the finish line. So that's Vikwick's second win. And once again, a little bit of help from the safety car and just being there on the pace to always be right where you need to be helps big time in a race like this. And so Vikwick wins the Dutch Grand Prix, and in quite dramatic circumstances for a second time in a row. Well, I shouldn't say a second time in a row, but a second win from quite dramatic circumstances. We had the first one in Britain with Sir Angel's tire blowing out, and then we had the big crash that led to Vikwick getting that win there. Amazing drive by him. And I gotta say, just by being there, it proves you can win races. You don't have to be always the fastest on the track, because as long as you are close enough to those leaders and you know that something can happen, there's a chance that you can win. And sure enough, that something happened for Vikwick, and it sure as hell supported him in this race as he brings home first place from P9, mind you, after the safety car restart. So a good drive by Vikwick. And nothing to complain about for the Aston Martin team as they bring home a 1-free and a solid batch of points. So, I'm your host, Biggie Smoke. Thank you for watching HRL. And I'll catch you guys on my own channel in about a couple hours from now. So, the championship continues to heat up, and Vikwick becomes the first double winner here in dramatic circumstance. Bye for now.